Hi everyone, my name is Jen and this is Bee's House of Plants. Welcome back. So today I am doing a flush day for all of my plants in Leca. And if you don't know what a flush day is that when you have plants that are in Leca, there's always a buildup of salt and minerals like that. And so every month or so you have to do a flush to get rid of all those buildups of salt and minerals, because if you leave it, it kind of inhibits the roots from properly absorbing all of the nutrients that you're mixing in your nutrients water. This is also a good opportunity for you to throw away any water that is currently in your containers and mix a new batch of nutrients. I only do this once a month, and that's when I replace the nutrient water. Every other week that's not a flush week, I just pour either filtered water, or currently I'm using rainwater because I pH'd it and it also pH'd out to like a 6.5 perfectly. Right on top into the container, basically like diluting it. I don't refresh the nutrients every week. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm also going to take this opportunity to give you an update on how all of my Leca plants are doing. The majority of these plants have been in Leca for about 2 months now. Some of them a little less, like my Syngonium has only been in Leca for maybe about 3 weeks, but the majority of these plants have been in Leca about 2 months now. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so hopefully you can see my sink now, so I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. So basically any water left in the container, I just dump out. Then I turn on the faucet to about a warm-ish level, not too cold, not too hot. That's about warm. Okay, I'm going to show you all of the mineral buildup. Just pour, and then we're just going to run it through. Okay, let it drain out. You can see no more mineral buildup. I know that Fox Farm actually also makes a product that helps with this. I am considering buying it because the nutrient solution I'm using is also Fox Farm, but I haven't bought it yet, so I can't tell you if it's good or not yet. Throw it out. Clean the container. And then if your plant has a pole like this, you want to make sure the entire pole also goes under the water and gets completely saturated. Oops. Okay, so for this micans, I'm actually noticing that there is a little bit of root shedding, which is basically when you transplant a plant that was already in dirt. Sometimes the mini finer roots, they kind of end up dying off, which is fine as long as there is new root growth. So what I'm actually going to do is to take the plant out of the leca, to wash it, to make sure that all of those dead roots go off, and then put it back into leca. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do, this is my container. Just gonna gently lift and pour all the leca there we go. So now all of the leca is in the base container. We have one cutting, straggling. Okay, and then I'm also going to shake off like all these leca that is like in the roots. I'm gonna shake it out. Just pull very gently. You don't have to necessarily take all of them off, but just very gently. Okay, so now I'm going to wash the roots. You can see it, there's definitely some roots that have shedded and died. So let's clean that.
It's been a while, been a while, been a while since I've seen your face, and it's been a while, been a while, been a while since I've known what to say, but it's getting nervous for getting words, and I speak in circles, trying to keep myself from saying, remember last year, messing around, we were so loud, and they'll try to kick us out, and I could never really lie to you, so I'm trying not to hide the truth, though I've been dreaming, oh, I've been scheming, I hoped you'd be here. I hate that I love you. Ooh, ignore the history, I know you miss me. I hate to love me too. Ooh, ooh, yeah, I hate that I love you. I'm taking time, taking time, taking time, taking me too much damn time, trying to find the reason why I shouldn't dive back into your life, cause I'm a little selfish and you're so jealous, and you in bed.
Okay. All good. Okay, made a mess. Alright, I'm gonna come back after I finish flushing all of my plants. Okay, this one has a lot of mineral buildup, so I want you to see this one. That's all salt and mineral buildup. And then if I have any plants in containers like this where there's no holes, I just fill it up. Oops, I lost some. Okay, I just fill it up and then kind of hold the leca in and then tip it upside down like this and do it a couple times. Okay, so I finished flushing out everything, which means we now need to mix up some new nutrient solution. So this is a 1 liter container. I have it labeled filtered water. This time it's actually rainwater, but filtered water or rainwater. Usually 1 liter is like a good amount, and I usually have like a little bit of extra at the end, which I just throw out. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is mix in my nutrients. So the series I use is from Fox Farm, and I use the Fox Farm one because it's I've used other Fox Farm products and I really like it, so that's the series that I decided to go with. There are other companies that also make nutrient solutions, and this has 3, and what I've basically decided to do is introduce each like product one at a time to my plants. So the very first time I did a flush, I used Grow Big, and then the second time that I did a flush, I did Grow Big and Big Bloom, and then now this is the third time I'm doing a flush, so I am going to introduce the final product to my plants, which is Buds and Bloom. So now moving forward, I am going to be mixing all 3 nutrients into my water. And when you're mixing nutrients, you always want to make sure that you're mixing the nutrients into water and not with each other. So you don't mix the nutrients first and then put it in water, you put each one into water. If you are using the Fox Farm one, you don't put the same amount of each kind into it. You have to like read the instructions on the back. I think if you use the one by General Hydroponics, you might use the same amount. I'm not sure, I've never used that one, but I think that's what I've seen other people do. But for this, you have to read the instructions on the back. So hold on. Okay, so for this one, the Grow Big, I used 2.5 milliliter of this nutrients in 1 liter bottles, and I have a syringe without the needle, and I just rubber band it to the nutrients, and this is the only syringe I use with this solution. For Big Bloom, the instructions actually say to use quite a bit. So the instructions say to do 4 tablespoons per gallon of water, which kind of equates to about 15 milliliters per liter of water, but my syringe only goes up to 10 milliliters, so I just do 10 milliliters. I could put 15, but honestly, like this one kind of, it has like a really yucky color because it's earthworm castings and bad iguana, which basically just means like poop water. So it kind of just looks yucky, so I only do 10 and I'm sure it's fine. And then I'm going to do the same with this Buds and Bloom. I'm going to use 2.5 milliliters of this in my 1 liter bottle.
I hate that I love you. Ooh, ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too. Yeah, hate that I love you. I've been dreaming, I've been scheming. I hoped you'd be here. I hate that I love you. Ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Yeah, hate that I love you. I hate ignore the history. I know you miss me. I hate to love me too. Yeah, hate that I love you.
Mix. Okay, now I'm gonna go pH this. So let's find my pH. Okay, I got this pH container. My pH is from General Hydroponics. I will link it in the description below. Put a little bit in. Okay, I put that much in. Now I'm gonna put 3 or 4 drops of the test indicator in. Put the cap on and then shake. And then this time it is super low actually. It's kind of like a 5. Even a like, I would say like probably like a 4.5, between a 4 and a 5. So we need pH up. Is this pH up? What is this? This is pH down. Pause. I need to go find pH up. Okay, this is pH up. I also have pH down, and the same with how the nutrients, this pipette is attached to the nutrient solution, and I don't use the same pipette for both of them. I use different ones. So this is the one for the pH up. I'm gonna start with, I would say 5 drops. See if that's enough. Okay, I actually did 10 drops. Where's the lid? Okay, shake, 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 shake. Gonna throw this away. Okay, this is our new sample. Same thing, add 3 or 4 drops of this indicator. Okay, that looks a lot better. Where's our cap? Okay, put the cap on. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, that color looks way better. It is definitely, I think, still closer to a 5 than a 6 though. So I'm gonna put in another 10 drops. Okay. 3rd time's the charm, maybe? Shake, 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 shake. Alright, I am happy with that color. That definitely looks like a 6 now, and you want it to be a 6 to a 6.5. Definitely looks good. I am happy with that. So as I give each plant its nutrient solution, I am going to give you an update on the plant. So this is my Syngonium Moonshine. I got it in January in a video that I called like my biggest haul yet or something like that. It's doing okay. I put it in Leca because it was kind of struggling. So I don't know if the Leca necessarily helped because the plant still kind of looks like it's struggling a little bit, but it does look like a little bit better. So yeah, Syngonium Moonshine, and you put the water level about 1/3 of the way up to the container that the Leca is in. This is my Aglaonema chocolate. I got this recently in a trade. I hauled it in my how to do trades video or not get scammed. Highly recommend you watch that. It's doing super, super well. It's put out a new leaf. Put out this new leaf, I think, since I got it. And also it has a leaf on the way, so I'm really excited about it. I am thinking about whether or not I should propagate it because, you know, it's kind of lanky right here, but it's doing so well right now that I kind of don't want to touch it, but I love the camo. Do you see that? Love it. Super, super cool. I already gave you an update on this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, but it's doing really, really well. Oh, this is the propagation section of the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma from when I cut it. It's not really doing that much. It's not dead though, so I'm keeping it around. But yeah, that's why I cut my big Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This is my Philodendron Maimi. I don't know if you guys have really seen this plant. I know Instagram has definitely seen it, but I got it as a wet stick and it's unfurled both of these leaves. This is the newest leaf. Focus. There you go. It's on my bookshelf, so it's doing really, really well. It was kind of risky whether or not I wanted to put it in Leca, but I think it's really happy in Leca. It's definitely growing, so I think that was a good decision. Oh, it was in sphagnum moss when it unfurled this leaf, but it was in Leca when it unfurled this leaf. So I think overall it has been a good decision. You guys already saw this, my Lucia discolor. This one, because the container is kind of shallow, I usually just fill it up halfway. Because if I fill it up like a third of the way, I would have to refill it like so often. You guys just saw this as well. This is my philodendron Rio that I chopped up. It definitely has roots. You guys haven't seen this in a while. This is my philodendron pedatum. It was in the mystery box. I ended up putting it into Leca on my Instagram, so there are Instagram stories for that if you want to see it. I did end up chopping it, so this is, I think, 3 separate sections now because it rooted all the way up. So I definitely wanted all of the roots to be able to be in the same soil line. And this leaf is new since it was in Leca, and this leaf is new since it's in Leca. They're kind of like baby leaves, but I think that's normal considering that I cut it. So I would still consider this to be pretty happy. My other section of philodendron Rio, this one is in a PLANTY container, which is great. Also great because PLANTY has a line that tells you perfectly where you should fill up to. This is my sad sunburned peperomia obtusifolia. I did a whole series of stories on this as well, but I put it outside and it sunburned, and I didn't realize how sensitive to light it was because it didn't show up immediately. It took like a full week for the sunburn marks to show up. So I ended up propagating it. I lost some of the sections. They rotted away, but I still have a few leaves. So I am happy about that. And the section that is still in soil, that's doing really well. There's like 3 or 4 new leaves now. Okay, my Syngonium Podophyllum albovariegata. I repotted this recently, so I don't know if I have too much of an update to tell you, but so far it seems happy. This one, I have to kind of give it a lot of water because the pot is a little bit shallow compared to the cash pot that it's in. So I saw BB Plants putting yarn at the bottom, so I might have to do that too. Get some more water. Yeah, that one needs a lot of water just because the pot is so shallow. And then this is my Syngonium Randy. Look at the roots. Woo! Look at those roots, yo! I definitely don't consider this pot bound because it's not necessarily pot bound. It's just because there's water at the bottom, so all the roots are going to grow directly down to try to reach the water. What I should do with this is take it out and repot it so that all the roots are compressed back up, you know, like above the water line. I'm a little bit lazy today, so I'm not going to do it today, but definitely should do it soon. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's enough. You saw this recently too, but yeah, I usually put this on up to the halfway mark as well. My maintenance, I think I transferred 1 or 2 more plants since the last time I did a flush day, so I'm actually kind of running low. I hope I have enough. Oops, there's water everywhere. Honestly, putting my micans on a moss pole was like the best idea I've ever done. Since I shifted it today, I think all the leaves are gonna take like a couple days before they kind of rearrange themselves. But honestly, it loves this moss pole so freaking much. Look, this is it. This is the plant attaching itself. Like, I didn't tie it or anything. Isn't that crazy? I think this Micans. Oh, love it. This is a section of my old Syngonium albo from Logi's that I cut up. I didn't put water in this yet. This is doing well. This rooted up very quickly because if you remember, this plant did not grow for the longest time, and I was so worried because it was the first like rare plant that I ever wanted. It didn't grow for the longest time. I was so worried. I ended up waiting like, I think it was like 4 or 5 months, no growth. Ended up chopping it up, putting it in sphagnum moss on a heat mat. They all rooted up within like days, and now it's doing really, really well. So yeah, I think it's overall super, super happy. Okay, those are all of my plants in Leca. My thoughts after 2 months of having plants in Leca is that I absolutely love it. I highly recommend you try it. Obviously, I don't know like the long-term implications of how these plants are going to do in Leca, because I have heard people say that after like a year or so, the plants don't do as well. But I've seen, you know, like plant tubers and plant Instagrammers who have had their plants in Leca for over a year and their plants look good. So I don't know how true that is. And so I guess that's just something I have to like experiment for myself. But for my life, it's actually super convenient for me to have plants in Leca because I can pick one day to go refill all of the different like plant pots with water versus with soil. If they're in my mix, and they kind of do dry out in similar timings, but if you know they're from different nurseries would have used different mixes, and so you can't water all your plants on the same day. I feel like it's much lower maintenance to have plants in Leca, even though it looks like it's higher maintenance, because you only do flush days once a month, which means there's 3 other weeks where you're really just like holding the water and like going around and doing that, and it only takes me about 10 minutes to refill all the pots of all of my Leca plants, versus me watering all of my soil plants takes significantly longer than that because I have to check all of them, and some of them don't get watered that day, some of them do need water that day, so it's like a whole thing. So highly recommend so far. There is a lot of like upfront costs, like these things, like after I bought everything I needed, it was like over $100, but the nutrient solution is gonna last like forever. I've seen people say that they've had theirs for over a year and they aren't like anywhere near close to being done with it. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps my channel out. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any video requests for the future. All right, bye. See you next time.